Unlock the mysteries of your mind as we delve into the power of the third eye chakra and the incredible psychic skill of clairvoyance. Discover how tapping into your inner vision can lead to profound personal growth and spiritual awakening. Are you ready to open your third eye and see beyond the physical realm? You're listening to or watching the Sedona Soul Sisters show, where we share psychic guidance and healing for embodied spiritual awakening. I'm Christelle Arcucci, and I'm on a mission to support spiritual practitioners to access your intuition, unlock your psychic gifts, and live your purpose. A big thanks to our listeners all over the world, and a special shout out and boost of love to our listeners in Sedona, Arizona. Most weeks on the podcast, Sedona is the #1 city. So if you are in Sedona, please stop by the center and say hello. You can schedule sessions in West Sedona or virtual psychic readings, angel readings, starseed readings, mediumship, Akashic recodes, soul contract work, Reiki, life coaching, and more at SedonaSoulSisters.com. Each breath you take aligned with love repairs the healing web on planet Earth. This is the 6th week of the Ecstatic Empath Series in collaboration with the Desire Sessions podcast. Many empaths are unknowingly attuned only to the pain body. This series will support you to have clear boundaries with pain and awaken the channels that fuel the bliss body with ease and grace. If you would like to receive all of the resources for the entire free Ecstatic Empath series, visit ecstaticempath.com and enter your name and email. As we begin this journey into the third eye chakra and realm of clairvoyance, take a deeper breath and center yourself. Set your intention to open your mind, heart, and vision to new insights and spiritual truths. Allow yourself to be fully present, receptive, and ready to unlock the hidden potential within you. Today we're exploring the fascinating and transformative power of the third eye chakra and clairvoyance. The third eye, called the Ajna chakra in Sanskrit, is located above and between the eyebrows. It is the seat of intuition, imagination, vision, and spiritual insight. By activating this chakra, you can enhance your ability to perceive events, objects, and people beyond the physical realm, tapping into a profound level of extrasensory perception. We will delve into practical techniques, shadow work, and the many benefits and challenges that can arise in developing this powerful chakra for greater clarity, intuition, and spiritual awakening. The 6th chakra, or third eye, is crucial for psychic development and intuition because it serves as a center of inner vision and higher consciousness. When balanced and activated, it allows you to see beyond illusions and connect with deeper spiritual insights. This enhanced perception is essential for clairvoyance as it enables you to receive and interpret information from the subtle realms. Developing the third eye chakra not only sharpens your intuition, but also fosters a stronger connection to your higher self, the universe, and guiding your spiritual path. It also fosters a stronger connection to your higher self and the universe, guiding you on your spiritual path. The third eye chakra, the Ajna chakra in Sanskrit, is between and above the eyebrows in the center of the forehead. The important thing to remember, and I find especially relevant in regards to the third eye chakra, is all of the 6 lower chakras open to the front and the back, above and below. And I find that people often forget this, especially in regards to the third eye, that in only focusing on opening the front of the third eye chakra is what often causes people to have radical challenges with the opening of the third eye, as well as not having a solid foundation established below it. Most of the stories I hear about people having radical challenges when their third eye opens that most often happens because there hasn't been a solid foundation established in all of the chakras below. And activating the kind of vision and insight that is possible with the third eye without having your physical, mental, emotional body, your nervous system, your clarity of navigating divine vision and the real life human experience can cause really intense challenges. While I find the third eye is the chakra that is the most famous and people want it the most, there is danger in only focusing on the third eye without having a solid, very physical, embodied, grounded container in your physical body to be able to hold the intensity of vision that is possible. The sacred sound is Om, A-U-M, often written as O-M. The strengths of the third eye are intuition, imagination, spiritual insight, and vision. The challenges, illusion, attachment, overthinking, and the challenge, as I just mentioned, the challenge of integrating incredible vision into real life human experiences. The third eye is related to the element of space and ether or infinity, which is why it's so important to be grounded in all of the other elements to support your human connection to infinity. Clairvoyance is the ability to perceive events, objects, or people that are not physically present and that are only visible through extrasensory perception. There are several forms of clairvoyance. Precognition, the ability to see the future. Retrocognition, seeing the past. Remote viewing, seeing events at a distance. Aura reading, seeing the energy fields around people, places, animals, plants, and so on. The third eye and clairvoyant are therefore the seat of inner vision and spiritual insight. And like all of the chakras and the psychic gifts, it's important to cultivate clarity in your practice and also stay anchored in the present moment of where you are now when looking at what seeds started blooming in your childhood. I believe we all have access to all of the psychic gifts and different clairs that we've explored in this series and the ones beyond what we have explored here. And it's also possible for certain gifts to be stronger, more available, more cultivated in your life. And it's also possible to say no. To say no and to shut them down. Many people that had psychic experiences in childhood where they didn't know what to do, where they got frightened, they can often consciously and or unconsciously shut those gifts down. For me, seeing auras, that type of clairvoyance, was something that I closed the door to and have kept the door closed in my lifetime. Some people are really interested in past lives and why that is. And for me, I'm not really that interested in why it happened and whether it was based on this life or other lives. But I do have a strong intuition to leave it alone, which may be controversial, which is just fine by me because it's my relationship with the different psychic gifts. But here's what I do know and why I'm okay with it. Because sometimes people would say, well, that might be your greatest gift. It might be. And my greatest challenge in navigating being human and having access to divine, infinite information since I was a very small child. And here's why I allow myself to keep that door closed with just being like, Aura reading, not interested in doing it, and it doesn't matter why. And why, being a shadow work practitioner, most often I look into, lean into, dive deeply into, explore those practices, events, the different things in my life that I say no to or that trigger me. Yet for me, there is a deep sense of knowing in my body to keep that door closed for now. It is a deep sense of knowing and trusting. It isn't coming from a place of self-sabotage. Also keeping in mind how many psychic abilities there are. Just in this series alone, we've probably explored at least 14. Because some chakras I have connected one, but like this, I'm connecting clairvoyance, but then there's 4 different types of clairvoyance that I've mentioned. So my closing the door personally to being like, I don't want to see auras, and I'm okay with that, is because there are so many other psychic gifts for me to cultivate. And it's interesting in talking about this that the feeling in my body that I'm honoring my no, just in me talking about this to you and exploring it and talking about why I'm not opening the door because I might be blocking one of my greatest gifts, the insight I feel and hear in my body is that I felt from a very young age that opening that gift, it would be more challenging for me than it would be supportive for me, which may change in the future, which because I'm doing this episode, I am very curious to see what happens in my own experience, especially around seeing auras. Because like I said, it is the only one that I have spoken about in this series that I'm like, and no. And I've said no for decades. And even in saying no now, I still feel very clear about my no, my NO. And I'm also curious to see what will open for me from here. I mention this because it is important in working on developing psychic skills and your intuition is to be clear what is coming from a place of wisdom and what is coming from a place of wounding. And since I first said no to seeing auras many, many decades ago, I knew that it was coming from a place of wisdom. Yet, I don't cling to that as the ultimate truth. I don't try to put that onto anyone else by saying, oh, aura reading is bad, no one should do it, or it doesn't exist. I just say, for me, that is not something I'm interested in pursuing at this moment. That may change for me. And if and when that arises, I will be in a state of curiosity and openness in honoring that I said no for decades, and then I transitioned into a state of curiosity. I think that question of, is it coming from wounding or wisdom, is so important in opening our psychic gifts, because any psychic gifts or intuitive practices can cause harm to ourselves and others. We can want the information to try to manipulate people or to feel powerful or validated. So it's important in all of this exploration, which is why I stress so much about your physical, mental, emotional body. Your nervous system has the capacity to hold a level of intensity, integrity, honesty with yourself, and clarity in how you're receiving the information, why you're sharing it, and how it may help other people. And that is an ongoing practice. Another personal aspect I will share is about precognition. So that is the ability to see the future. And while I do work with timeline healing and soul contracts, I'm not that interested in predicting the future for someone, because most often what is probably most likely going to happen isn't that person's highest vision. What's probably going to happen instead of what's possible that could happen. I'm not that interested in predicting the future. I am most interested in supporting someone in changing their soul contracts and getting onto a timeline of what is possible, which is predominantly about being anchored in the present and going forward, in supporting my clients in pouring as much of their time, energy, attention, and even money onto the timeline of what you desire, rather than what is most likely to have happen. There is so much flux and flexibility in what is potentially going to happen. And there are very few events that are absolutely going to happen no matter what. So I'm most interested in coming into the present moment, which holds whatever has happened in the past, yet holding the past lightly, because even the way that we look at the past, even the way that we tell stories about the past, heavily influences what is possible for us going forward. And this is why, for me, the clairvoyance of seeing the future, I'm most interested in creating the future with clients. To say, what is it that you really want, that you may be afraid to admit, that you may not even know you want? Because especially for women, even more so for mothers, there is a lack of knowing what we want, lack of ability to ask for what we want, a lack of ability to receive what we want, and a lack of ability to enjoy what we want. So there's all of this challenge in this is who I am, this is what I'm creating in my life for myself, for my family, and for the greater good. And that to me is the focus of coming into the present moment. I am in touch with everything that has happened before now, but I'm not being burdened by my past. From the present moment of now, I can focus my insight, my psychic vision on what is possible, and also what I need to navigate more skillfully in going forward from here to embody divinity in my humanity, in navigating whatever challenges arise, because challenges will arise. Challenges don't arise because I have done something wrong or that my vision wasn't clear enough. Challenges arise because that is what being human on planet Earth is. How skillfully we navigate those challenges, how resilient we are in bouncing back, how much we fall into a state of feeling victimized by the challenges that arise. How much can we have fun in the adventure of what's going to happen next? And that, to me, are the skills of visioning and what I call future casting that I'm most interested in. And for me, especially in the last few years, the visions that I have been building for years that have felt so impossible and so far away are so much closer, are coming into my reality, are being experienced, which is a beautiful practice in using my vision to tap into impossible dreams, but then also doing the work on the physical realm, in the mental and emotional realm, with the energetic body, with the support of my guides, teachers, and angels, to create the reality of what I most desire, to feel it, see it, know it, experience it in all levels of my body, mind, and being, and to keep realigning all of my psychic gifts, all of my ability to connect into the infinity of space and ether through the upper chakras, and ground it into the physical body of my being, ground it into the manifest world of air, fire, water, and earth, and to stay steady and diligent no matter what arises, and no matter what presents itself, and no matter what it looks like in the world, in my community, and in my life, is to stay true to the vision. The practice of cultivating the third eye and clairvoyance is a continual refining process of having this grand, impossible vision that seems so infinitely far into the future, and then bringing it into the everyday, into today, into this moment. What action can I take today, this week, this month, this year? How can I go from infinity into this present moment and be building the stepping stones that are going to support me in manifesting those grand visions and holding on to the clarity and power of my vision and using all of my psychic gifts and senses to bring my visions and the spiritual insights that I have access to into reality, bringing divinity into reality, one step at a time, one breath at a time, a continual practice and evolution. And being willing to be humble, be willing to be in service to the greater good, be willing to be a student, be willing to get up after I've gotten knocked down, and to continue to show up no matter what, in alignment with my purpose, my vision, and my access to the divine vision of what I know is possible in my life. What I feel, see is possible in my life, no matter what the evidence says in front of me. That I keep being, doing, having, experiencing my infinite self in human form over and over and over again. And being willing to refine, adjust, negotiate, navigate, fine-tune every aspect of it in order to create what I most desire. The challenges of the third eye and clairvoyance is illusion. So how to distinguish true visions from false ones or ego? One of the dominant ways that I discovered this in myself, I mentioned a few minutes ago about tuning into, is this wounding or is this wisdom that is speaking? Intuition, wisdom speaks with clarity, confidence, strength, power. Wounding speaks from a victim space with urgency, emergency, intensity. And in your own system, it is learning to really feel, see, sense, know the difference between those two things. Like, even if you are in an emergency situation, if you think about, for example, first responders, they have trained their systems to be able to operate in very high intensity environments that are literally emergencies. Yet there's a way that they are practiced in knowing what to do next. And sometimes they are navigating moment by moment. What are the best choices to make? And if they let their system just go off the rails and freak out and panic, it would be much harder for them to navigate. So it is the same practice in your own experience, is really to deepen your own ability to stay grounded, to stay present, to be able to hold a lot of energy, to stay clear, confident, and focused in emotional, high intensity states or emergencies, is to be able to know the difference between when wisdom is guiding you, when wisdom is speaking, when it is your embodied knowing, and when it is panic, fear, wounding, that is trying to hijack your system. Attachment is another big one, is being attached. As I was speaking about my future vision for my work, for a global community of people working together for humanity's awakening, if I was attached to my vision and my way, I am going to radically cut myself off from access to so many possible ways of being supported. So while it is important to be clear and directed, confident in your vision, being overly attached, rigid, is going to cause issues in bringing your visions into being. Overthinking is a massive one, especially with so much excessive stimulation through social media and television and the pace of the world, that overthinking is a massive problem. And here is my solution to overthinking. First is that the mind is not a problem. The mind becomes problematic when it is overriding, it is trying to dominate the heart and the body. When the mind is overthinking, that's what causes stress in our system, anxiety, procrastination, perfectionism, so many different expressions of the wounding of the overthinking mind. Yet it's important to not make the mind a problem. It's the action of overthinking that can cause issues. So how do we resolve that? Breathe more deeply. Move attention from your mind into your heart, into your body. The fastest way to do that is to move your head back so it's in alignment with your heart and the center of your hips. To breathe more deeply, so that is engaging the heart center, and to gently or vigorously move your body. So if you are overthinking, breathe, move, and sound. That is the magic recipe to bring the mind's focus into the present moment, to work in collaboration with the heart and the body. And if you take nothing else away from this episode, I would encourage you to take that with you. If you find yourself overthinking or stuck in procrastination, align your mind. Move your head back so it's in alignment with your heart and your body. Breathe deeply, move gently or vigorously, and sound. That activates the lower chakras so that you can bring your mind into harmony with the heart and the body, instead of the mind trying to solve the problem, right? The mind is trying to get you out of whatever situation you're in. But when it's disconnected from the heart and the body, it very rarely has good solutions, which is why we've done all of this work to establish the grounding, the foundation in the chakras below the third eye. Transitioning into the self-inquiry questions and journal prompts. How do my beliefs and perceptions influence my ability to trust my intuition and inner vision? What experiences or patterns in my life have led me to either embrace or resist the concept of clairvoyance? In what ways can I create a daily practice to nurture and develop my third eye chakra for enhanced spiritual insight and vision? Embodied shadow work journal prompts. Reflect on a time when you ignored your intuition and the consequences that followed. What fears or doubts cause you to dismiss your inner knowing? And how can you create new pathways to better trust your intuition in the future? How can you deepen your inner knowing and trust your intuition in the future? Explore any feelings of fear or discomfort you have around the idea of clairvoyance. What underlying beliefs or past experiences contribute to these feelings? And how can you gently begin to explore and transform these shadows into sources of empowerment and clarity? Thank you for being a part of our community. I'm honored to support your embodied spiritual awakening. If you're a spiritual woman that is lit up by this exploration of embodied intuition, and you're wondering if there's more to life after 40, I have a special invitation for you. I've created the Embody Freedom Method, an 8-week adventurous fitness journey designed specifically for women who are ready to redefine what's possible. It's not just about fitness, it's about reconnecting with your body's wisdom, aligning with your soul's purpose, and embracing a life of vitality and adventure. I want to make sure it's a perfect fit for you. That's why I'm offering a free clarity call. It's a chance to explore your goals and see if the Embody Freedom Method is the key to unlocking the vibrant, adventurous life you've been dreaming of. There's no pressure or obligations, just an open conversation about what's possible for you. Click the link in the show notes to book a clarity call today. Let's discover how you can embody freedom and live a life that excites you every single day. Remember that life doesn't stop at 40. The best is yet to come. I'm excited to talk with you. Leave a review and follow on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, breathe gently, listen to your guidance, and create miracles.